Hello and welcome to the I Can Do podcast with Benjamin Lee. We're here to talk about tips and strategies to have an I Can Do mindset. Life is what you put into it. Get the most you can. Here's your host, Benjamin Lee.
Hello and welcome to episode number 68 of the I Can Do podcast. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope and pray all is well with you. I hope that you are enjoying life. You know, life is meant to be enjoyed. Life is meant to be lived. Let us be sure that we're not so preoccupied with our social media accounts, work, productivity, that we never, or that at least not as much as we should be, really enjoying life. Listen, life is meant to be enjoyed, and that's what it's about, or at least that's a big part of it. Obviously, there's more than just enjoying life. As you guys know, I'm a preacher, I'm a Christian, and obviously there's much more than just, daily pleasures. But the point I'm making is it is important to enjoy the day-to-day things that we do. We can get bogged down so much. One of the things that we can often go after is success. And the title of this podcast is The Greatest Danger to Success. Do you know what it is? It is actually in the title of the podcast of this particular episode. Success. Success can often be the greatest danger to future success. I'm sure I've heard this before. I mentioned this a number of years ago, and for some reason I was thinking Kobe Bryant had said something like this. It's really interesting. I was reading a book about Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers. It was a book by Phil Jackson called 11 Rings. And it's a really good book. It's a book on leadership. It's a book on coaching. And what's interesting is that Phil won 11 NBA championships, 6 with the Bulls, 5 with the Lakers. In both cases, one of the biggest things that got in the way of future success was success. Now, how can that be? Well, the first three championships with the Chicago Bulls, by the end of the third one, everyone's tired. The seasons have become so much longer. Michael Jordan was burned out. And obviously he had some tragic things that happened in his life as well with his father. So each year, just reading the book, okay, you get to the top of the mountain and now you have to try to do it again. So now everyone is after you even more. Not only that though, but there's a danger within, because you've gotten to where you want it to be. So there can be a danger of remembering the very things that got you there to begin with. That's what happened with the Los Angeles Lakers as well. He won 3 championships. They had a three-peat with Shaq and Kobe Bryant. But by the end of that, it was interesting in the book, he had some quotes from Rick Fox, one of the players at that time as well. Rick had talked about how, by the end of that third championship, they got to another NBA title or another NBA finals, but by then they just weren't the same team. By then, too many of the players thought they had it all figured out. By then, they weren't listening to the coaches that actually got them to where they needed to be, and that's because they had this success. So the success that they had actually hindered them from having future success. Well, Phil Jackson would come back a few years later and guide them to 2 more NBA championships. But it's an interesting phenomenon on how one of the greatest dangers of success is actually being successful. I'm reading a book now, and I started a book club. If you're interested, you can leave me a message here on Anchor by Spotify, or you can reach out to me at my website, benjaminlee.blog. But I've started a book club, and the book club is Ben's I Can Do Book Club. Simple and straight to the point. So we are reading the book Essentialism, The Disciplined Pursuit of Less by Greg McKeown. It's my second time that I'm reading this. It's a quite fascinating book. In the first chapter, he actually talks about this idea of success being a danger to future success. Because what can often happen is that the pursuit of success, as he says here in the book, can be a catalyst for failure. He would say, put another way, success can distract us from focusing on the essential things that produce success in the first place. Isn't that interesting? So how do we avoid this? How can we build upon success one day after another, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, one championship, one job promotion, or one habit, whatever you want to call it? Sounds like there needs to be some humility, I think, number one. Sounds like there also has to be some reflection, number two, of what did it take for me to get from point A to point B, from the ground level to the mountaintop. What did I do? How did I get there? And then remembering some of those things as well. While things will change, like on an NBA team or a football team, I think about the Kansas City Chiefs. They won the Super Bowl last year. They were not able to win it this year. There's a lot of factors that go into that, but it is hard to build success upon success. Part of the reason is sometimes I think we can feel like we have it all figured out, and so we can go on cruise control. We can hit the default mode or go back to our original position. Okay, well, I got all this figured out, so I don't need to keep doing the very things that got me to this position, and that's what we have to overcome. Another way to overcome this would be to just look at some of the stories that we have around us. How a lot of things don't, especially in sports, a lot of things don't last forever. And so it's important to seize the moment, to really take a step back and to reflect and to make sure that we're still focused and making the necessary adjustments, but sticking with the things that do work. Not settling and thinking that we have it all figured out, but keeping that edge. There's something there that will help us to be able to build upon success. But maybe the most important thing is knowing that maybe the biggest danger is actually success. Understanding that, getting back, as this author Greg McKeown talks about in his book, to the things that are truly essential in nature will change everything. So I hope you are successful in the things that you do. I hope you will remember what you did, what it took to get you to that position as well. To stay hungry, to stay humble, to continue to have even more success. Stay focused, have an I can do mentality. Be sure you put action behind I can do. Can't just be a slogan. There's got to be action behind that attitude. And when you have that, you will have a lot. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. If you are in the need or are looking for more motivation in your life, feel free to check out my website, benjaminlee.blog, where you can find hundreds of encouraging, motivational blog posts on a variety of subjects. You can find all of my books, which can also be found on Amazon.com, and other podcast interviews with a variety of people. I hope this helps. Please leave me a rating and a review. I can do, and so can you. Take care, and God bless.